Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello dear friends, welcome to this first lecture of module 3 on mechanical attributes of geoground and geomaterial. In previous lecture of module 2, we have discussed about stress strain characteristic, some important mechanical parameters, concept of strength, strain, modulus and Poisson's ratio, and modes of failure of rock to develop some fundamental platform for proper understanding concerned to strength related aspects. In this class we are going to discuss about concept of geoground and geomaterial, in particular about rock, rock material and rock strata, then about soil and the differences of features observed in rocks and soils, and some physical property. In this class, we are going to discuss about the characteristics of rocks and rock strata and some physical property. In this class, we are going to cover about introduction concerned to geoground and geomaterial, then concept of rock and rock strata, geological separations and structures, and some physical characteristics of rock. Friends, as you know, the earth crust is made up of rocks, rock strata and derived materials as weathered materials and rock. Rock derived material in form of soil. Rock strata, weathered material and soils are going to form geoground and geomaterials. The geoground may consisting of this rock and rock strata, may be derived or fragmented material. You can see here fragments of rock, and then with increment in level of weathering and modification we are going to get some soils. You can see one view of soil that is derived from the Vindhyans rock and observed in Son Valley recent deposit. As far as this rock is a concern, we are going to define rock in petrology, means related to rock science or geology. Rock is a solid, naturally occurring aggregates of minerals or mineral aggregate, exhibiting or showing certain chemical composition. If we are going to see a rock from applied points of view, from engineering geological point of view, then we can say that rock possesses certain physical, chemical, mechanical and hydraulic responses or property. These properties, physical, chemical, mechanical and hydraulic property, depends on the mode of origin and subsequent modifications. Subsequent modification and accumulated or deposited rocky material. These modification and subsequent changes responsible for the formation of different type of lithology. Lith means rock. Different type of lithology. If you see any area, you can see either uniform type of lithology or there is alternation of some different type of lithology, varieties of lithology. Again, we are going to see this rock possesses certain physical, chemical, mechanical and hydraulic properties. And these properties depends on the mode of origin and modification and different operating processes responsible for modification after accumulation and formation. This overall, this rock we are going to define with suitable term lithology. In case of derived material and rock, if we are going to see these common physical attributes of rocks and soils derived from the rock are principally depends on inherent parameter, two domain. One is inherent parameter and another is surrounding parameter or influencing parameter. This whole thing concerned to physical property, two parameters. One is inherent parameter and another is surrounding parameter. Inherent parameter have relationship with different physical property of rocks, and these inherent parameters principally depends on the constituent, means mineralogy, mineral constituent, a rock constituents, and then arrangement of constituent. Their arrangement as this arrangement of constituents we are going to recognize with a very simple and defined term texture. Due to particular pattern of texture, we are getting some structure, some features that we are going to recognize as micro structure. And the continuity of the arrangement. It may be, suppose a particular arrangement, suppose the arrangement here I try to show, this arrangement is going to continue for this L length are limited to this, then again change, then again change, then again change. So we can say that heterogeneous. We will discuss. The material may be homogeneous, material may be heterogeneous from constituents point of view, from textural point of view, and from continuity point of view, and overall from lithological point of view. These facets means these inherent parameters of the soils or rocks are far different, soils far different than rocks. Why? Because the soil is derived from rock. Therefore, the maturity level and the compaction level and other responses of the rock is far different than soil. It is a derived material. Thus, it is important to discuss about the physical property and inherent property. Here I try to explain or visualize concept of rock by taking simple example of sandstone. Sandstone is a very simple, any rock made up of sand size particle is known as sandstone. Generally, we are having mineral quartz and feldspar and mica and supporting materials matrix to form a general sandstone. If we are going to see the internal features of sandstone through this cartoon, here we are going to see two types of arrangement we are generally going to observe in sandstone. One is the grains are showing contact with each other, are among. Due to grain contacts, there is gap. These we are going to recognize as pores. In another case, in another type of sandstone, we are having this type of constituent, and these constituents are supported by some finer materials, mechanically derived finer materials, and insert we can say that matrix. In matrix, within matrix and contact with the grains, there is pores. Pores in different condition. It may be dry in nature, it may be saturated by water, it may be fully saturated, it may be partially saturated. Suppose if this domain by any cause, if there is increment in frequency, size and shape of this domain means pores, the response of earlier view of the sandstone with respect to applied or any external force or any external load showing very little compression, means this substance cannot show compressibility. Rocks can be broadly divided into three categories. First is igneous rock, that is related to ignition means fire. Second is a sedimentary rock or secondary rock derived in nature. And third is a metamorphic. Then form of both igneous as well as sedimentary under certain set of pressure, temperature and fluid. As far as the term igneous is concerned, igneous is related to fire. This hot melts is going to powered up and started crystallization or solidification at suitable temperature and pressure. If such type of ingress of material from this lower side of the crust, you can see here oceanic crust, then over here continental crust, then some soil deposits and other weathered material. If the molten melt confined to consolidate within this earth crust, then it is recognized this type of arrangement responsible for formation of intrusive type of rock. This material is able to reach the surface, then responsible for formation of this type of volcanoes, and the melt moving from this opening is recognized as extrusive rock. The solidified form located at the shallow depth we are recognizing. In between this intrusive and extrusive, deep level and surface level, there is a shallow level. If we are going to see this here, I try to explain with help of this cartoon, this basaltic material. When this type of material consolidate within this earth crust, it is known as intrusive, and in another word, this is known as volcanic rock, and the intrusive rock is known as plutonic rock. Here example, basalt, extrusive rock. The rate of cooling is a fast in extrusive rock, therefore fine grained in nature, texturally complicated, as this type of melt material is unable to get sufficient time for proper and well arranged crystallization. However, in case of this confined material, there is a transfer of heat from this hot body to the surrounding host strata slowly and slowly. If we are going to see about sedimentary rocks, the formation of sedimentary rock is facilitated or controlled by two processes. One is a mechanical process and another is the non-mechanical process. If the rock is formed or comprised of clast, then it is recognized as clastic rock. So the sedimentary rock from Upper Camur, non-clastic rock that formed by precipitation. This precipitation may be chemical and may be carried out by this biological component. Limestone, good example, metamorphic rock formed under certain temperature, pressure and fluid condition. The increment in temperature, increment in pressure. If we are going to recognize increment in temperature and pressure condition, then the suppose taking example from suppose this shale. Shale is a sedimentary rock containing clay minerals and others. If shale is subjected to temperature, pressure and fluid condition, the shale is a changes in form of slate. With increment in this TP condition, the slate next grade changes in form of phyllite. Then after this, there is a change, that is the cyst. Some of the minerals started segregating. You can see here, some of the mineral in phyllite, there is a slight change. In case of slate, there is a development of some weak surfaces. These weak surfaces is recognized as slaty cleavage. Slate to slaty cleavage we will discuss. Naturally recognize weak planes. Here you can see this linear type of arrangement, plane in nature. When changes in form of phyllite, then is some type of deterioration, some type of bulging in the sheet and responsible for formation of phyllite. Then in case of cyst, the materials start segregating, started arranging themselves according to the composition. You can see this type of darkest or dark type of materials started uniting certain level, you can see, and some lighter type of groups started separating. This type of arrangement we are recognizing as system. Then further, this type of arrangement groupings become more effective we are getting good bands of the lighter and dark material along with the well-defined structural changes indicating about the temperature pressure condition. Nice. Beside these, we have maculose type of structure generally observed in case of marble, then some amphibolites, then some we have granulose type. Maculose is a type of granulose structure, a special condition. So we have discussed about igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. You can see some view. This is a view of some igneous rock, extrusive in nature, is not able to provide. Here you can see the intrusive nature, we can see the well defined. This is deformed rock, and you can see here this is the soil. Again, second level of derivations, second level of changes is like this. This is a view of the soil, how these pores are different than the others. If we are going to see about different property concerned to rocks, we are utilizing the same physical property for identification of mineral like color, like streak, like luster, like form, like hardness, cleavage and fracture. These property we are utilizing for identification of minerals responsible for formation of rock. Means the minerals are major constituents of rocks, and we are going to identify through colors, through streak, through luster, form, hardness, cleavage, fracture. Here very simple things, and you all know well. This is a common thing. The color, certain rocks you can recognize based on color, simply without going any change. Suppose sandstone and limestone. Sandstone slightly earthy nature, slightly pinkish nature, slightly blackish grayish nature. Here this limestone is typically smooth and grey color or brownish grey color. So color is defining about the type of light reflected from the object. That is the topic of the physics. We are not entering in such complications. The streak is a color of powder. Color of powder. The luster is a degree of reflection. Diffraction of light. We have varieties of terminology for luster. Metallic luster means metal-like appearance. Metallic luster, then adamantine luster, then silky luster, then pearly luster, then resinous luster, then we have like grease luster. So depends on this property. Woody lusters, earthy lusters. The name indicates it is similar to pearl, it is similar to silk, it is similar to grease, it is similar to the candle. In this way we are going to define luster. Then form different, it may be prismatic, it may be columnar, it may be tabular, it may be different forms. Then cleavage is actually naturally occurring weak planes in minerals as well as rocks. We have good example of slaty cleavage. Slate, metamorphic rock, that is a conversion of shale under high temperature pressure condition, under temperature pressure not high, under temperature pressure condition it is changed into slate. And slate has cleavage, that is known as static cleavage. That cleavage indicate the natural weak planes or weak surface present in rock or mineral. Then the fracture, certain object able to show a specific pattern, for example glass. Glass is always showing this type of fracture. This type of fracture is recognized as conchoidal fracture. Mineral quartz is always showing this type of features as a characteristic fracture, and on the basis of this feature available we can say that the rock is highly dominated quartzitic in nature or dominated by the quartz. So hardness, we have relative hardness and more hardness. We have arrangement of the different minerals having hardness 1 to 10, starting from talc and ending at diamond. You can see this type of material level anywhere in book and book concerned to geology or in general knowledge also. And next aspect which is important we are going to discuss. You see here, this zone, these are some geological separations, may be very feeble in nature here, may be considerable in nature. Here you can see, here you can see this zone. If we are going to see here the considerable nature, fracture, cracks, deviations. If we are going to see the response of this zone and response of this zone, both zones, zone A, zone B, far different from each other. Here you can see the number of such type of geological separation. So if we are going to see the separation, if we are going to categorize geological separation based on scale, then we can divide all kinds of geological separation as microfissures, macro fractures and microfractures. Microfissures, microfractures and macrofractures. Here microfissures, here microfractures, here macrofractures, MACRO. Microfissures are defects in rock fabrics, that is the orientation, packing. It ranges from some micrometer or less in width and about the length equivalent to the 2 or 3 molecules of water. Very small. It is confined, you can see here. I have developed this cartoon. These particularly grains showing petrofabrics, it is microfissures. These microfissures are fabric of the rock confined to the grains or close to the grains. Then there is a increment in width as well as length, and the increment in width and length is defined by fractures which can be visualized through naked eyes. Therefore, we consider a micro fractures are about 0.1 mm and their extent is significant despite the fact that they are barely visible to the naked eyes. This type of fracture depends on the nature of rocks and nature of texture and the features. If there is extension in the dimension concerned to width, concerned to length, if there is increment in this length and other extended to divide different lithology, then it becomes macro fractures. The macro fractures are wider than 0.1 mm and they may be up to several meters or more in length. The term discontinuity, or in our technical term we are recognizing as joint, is widely used for macro fractures. Collectively, we can recognize joint or weak bedding planes or weak schistosity plane or nisosity plane or fault zone or any slide zone, any type of interface in geological ground we are recognizing as geological separation. These micro fissures, micro fractures and macro fractures, here more we are going to encounter this macro fractures more and more in geological strata. Due to presence of change in lithology and mainly due to separation, this type of geological separation responsible to form the rock heterogeneous, discontinuous and anisotropy in continuum characterization of rock. You can see here this type of joints are discontinuity. A rock is a solid without this type of discontinuity. Suppose this place, if we are taking block from this place, this location, the behavior of this is far different than the behavior of this. Why? Due to presence of this type of separation. If we are going to see the separation, this type of separation is responsible for change in response and make the system heterogeneous in nature. We have already discussed rock. Rock is a solid mineral aggregate naturally occurring, showing some chemical constituent. If you see any strata, so see here, see here, see here, this rock zone is traversed by number of separation, geological separation, or in another word discontinuity, or in another word joints. So if we are going to consider this whole zone, then we are not going to recognize this rock only. This is known as a rock mass. It means the rock along with joint is recognized as a rock mass. Friends, you should be careful. Rock mass is not a mass of rock. Rock mass is a rock block supported by this joint or traversed by this joint is recognized as rock mass. And if we are extending here rock mass, we are going to recognize as rock strata. You can see here rock strata. It means the rock strata is nothing. Rock strata is integration of rock mass. Rock strata is equal to integrated rock mass. And in another way, not more scientifically for our common work, we can say that integration of rock strata is geoground. And if we are going to utilize this geoground for construction purpose or for pavement purpose and others, particularly selecting rock, then this is known as geomaterial. If we are going to see here, in order to clearly understood the engineering property of rock in various conditions, the distinction between rock mass and rock material must be understood properly, because the peoples may confuse about this. The rock system, rock in situ, and consist of rock material and discontinuities are joints. Then first we are going to discuss about the rock material. Rock material is nothing. It is a rock substance intact in nature, but passes through certain technical specifications for practical use. Suppose sandstone we are going to utilize for construction of building as a masonry, then the sandstone should be have certain strength, certain durability, hardness, compactness, porosity, etc. So the intact rock we are going to recognize as rock material, and this volume element of rock material is large with respect to the grain, pores and microfractures. If this rock material is traversed by discontinuity, it is small with respect to spacing between discontinuities, and the frequency observed difference in engineering proportion between rock mass and rock material, because the rock traversed by joint is recognized as a rock mass. And I think that almost all locality except very limited, all rocks are traversed by some geological separation and going to recognize as a rock mass. If the rock mass have no joint, suppose here a rock mass minus joint is equal to rock material. So we have discussed about the concept of rock, geoground, geomaterial, rock material and rock mass. The major component I have taken from the book written by Bhutkuri and Matsuyama in 1994, along with help from the engineering geological books, standard book Bells by these two authors. In this class, we have discussed about the constituents of the crust, particularly in terms of rock, soils and derived materials. Then considering the compressibility as a factor separating rocks from soils, and the rocks impart different type of physical, mechanical, chemical and hydrological characteristics. And broadly, the rocks can be classified as igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic rocks, which can be further divided on the basis of compositional differences, on the basis of constituent, on the basis of chemistry of the rock, and on the basis of textural features, etc. Then we have discussed one very interesting and important thing, concept of rock strata, and how rock strata is going to form a geoground or the geomaterials useful for our practical purpose for the development of prosperity and societies and other. Then rock strata, which is composed of rock mass, so we can say that the rock mass is the responsible for constituents of the geoground in particular. Today we have discussed about the concept of rock from our engineering point of view. Then we have discussed about the soil and derived material, how basically soil is different from rock, and what is the parameter responsible to differentiating rocks, soils from rocks or rocks from soils. Then we have discussed about the concept of rock mass and the integration of rock mass we are going to recognize as rock strata, and the integration of rock strata we are going to recognize as geoground. For geoground, we are not limited to define only rock strata. It may be rock strata, soil layers, any type of materials where we are going to plan for development of engineering geological project, then we are recognizing it. If rocky ground, then it is integration of rock strata. Thank you very much.